Hey, beautiful people. This is episode 55 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about the first steps to actually getting out of debt. So, I talked to you guys a lot about the credit cards, how to get credit cards, but I'm looking at credit reports and I see a lot of people are in debt. I'm in the process of paying off my student loans, paying off a vehicle. So, I know that a lot of other people are having debt. And I want to show you a few things that I did so that I can start the process of actually getting out of debt. I already paid off one vehicle, paid down a lot of debt. Now I have these two major things that I have to pay off. So, I want to show you a few things that you can actually do. So the first thing I want you to do is actually make a spreadsheet. And I want you to start listing the different debts that you all have. So just go ahead and start listing all your debts. I like to start with the credit report first. Find your debts. Maybe you got a Capital One card. Maybe you got Navy Federal. List all the different accounts. Maybe you have your mortgage. Whatever you have, just list them all here. What is the outstanding balance? Your outstanding balance is how much you actually owe. So if you owe still $159,000 on your mortgage, you'll put that on here. You also put your car payment, whatever it is. Navy Federal, maybe you have a credit card with them, and maybe you got a $5,000 balance with it, a $5,600 balance. You'll list that there. Capital One, what is your balance? Then you want to list, what's your monthly payment. So your monthly payment may only be $60, monthly payment may be $120, and your mortgage, you may have to pay $1,241. That's how much you have to pay. Now, if you're behind on your bills, go ahead and list how much you are behind. So go ahead and list it here. And we're going to say that none of these are behind, but if they are behind, go ahead and list what if they're behind. Next, you want to talk about whether or not it's secured and unsecured. We're going to talk about this in the next episode, trying to understand what's secured and unsecured. So definitely, if you don't fully understand this, go to the episode. I'm going to list all the different things that's secured and unsecured. But these are credit cards, so they're unsecured debts, and your mortgage is a secured debt. So we're going to just make an S here. Oh, I don't want them to put this. So this one is going to be secured, this one is secured, and this next one is unsecured. And there we go there. And then we're going to put the priority of our debts. To me, the mortgage is the number one priority. And you can also put it as 1, 2, 3. 1 means it's very important. 2 means it's not that important. 3 is I don't even care about this debt at all. That's what you can do. But 1 is a priority. To me, I would say your mortgage is a priority. Your credit cards is a priority, only because you don't want to mess up your credit. Or maybe you could put 2 as not too much a priority, because if your credit cards go bad, you're not going to not have a place to stay. But your mortgage is 1 for sure. Also, your car, you can put that as a priority depending on a situation with your car. Different things like that. Put those as your priorities, and just put them 1, 2, and 3. Remember, 1 is most important. 3 is you don't even care about at all. Now, as you go in there, don't forget, list your collections. You may have medical bills. Go ahead and list them all here. You may have some other collections that's on your credit report, some charge-offs from your accounts. Go ahead and list them all here so that you'll know everything that you owe. Even put your student loans. You can put your student loan as one amount. Credit Karma will tell you what's the total amount also in your student loans. Just list that as student loans and put the amount here. If you have a monthly payment, go ahead and list your monthly payment. If you're behind at all, list it whether or not you're behind. Usually your student loans are unsecured. And then what's the priority of this debt? If a lot of people, they're paying on their student loans, they're like, okay, I'm not really caring about that. You could just put that as a 3, how much you want to pay off that debt. But student loans is the top priority for me right now. But that's what I would tell you all do. Start listing these different debts. In the next episode, we're going to talk about secure debts and unsecured debts. And then we're also going to go into actually creating a budget and getting your budget down. I made a video previously how I cut my budget down $600, more than $600. So I'm going to tell you a few tips that I actually did to cut my budget down and what you can also do too. So I'll see you all in the next episode. Hey, welcome to episode 56 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about the difference between secure debts and unsecured debts. In the last episode, we talked about actually listing all of your debts, the things that you owe. So in this episode, I want you guys to understand what's secured and unsecured, because we also talk about the priority of debts. Usually your secured debts, you care more about those, because if you default on those debts, they can actually take something back, such as your mortgage. But then you have other unsecured debts that we're going to talk about, such as your credit cards, that they can't really take anything from you because they're unsecured. If you were to go bad with them, they can't actually take an actual thing back from you. Okay. So we're going to talk about these different things. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions. So we already talked about how your mortgage is a secured debt. Remember, secured debts is when you sign saying, hey, if I do not pay it, use this as collateral. You can take it. Like such as your mortgage, you may say, well, everybody have to say this really if you get a mortgage. If I default on this house, I don't pay my mortgage, you can go ahead and take the house back. That's basically what you're saying when you guys get a mortgage. So that is the secured debt. If you guys were to take a home equity loan or you have a home equity line of credit, this is also a secured debt. So please understand that. If you guys have cars, boats, motorcycles, RVs, or even planes, then understand that these are all secured debts also. Some personal loans can also be secured debts, so you just want to definitely check. I know if you guys were to go like with One Main Financial, they're not just going to give you a personal loan. They're going to always say that they need to have your car or your vehicle as collateral. That's one thing that they do. So they're going to ask, yeah, can we get that as collateral? We'll give you the personal loan, but we need some collateral. So just watch out when you do certain personal loans because they are going to ask you to secure that debt, which means if you don't pay that One Main Financial back, they can actually come after you and try to get your car. Also, if you guys have any tax liens, judgments, and then your child support liens too, these are all secure debts. So you want to be very careful when it comes down to secure debts. I told you guys to number your debts 1 through 3. 1 means that you care about this the most. You need to pay this off. This is very important. 2 means, it's all right. You care about it, but not as much. And 3 means you don't care about it at all, whether or not you have it paid off. Your secure debt should be a 1. Because that means that they can actually take something from you. Okay. Now, when it comes down to these unsecured debts, it depends on what you want to do with these debts or how you feel about them. Now, the first one we talked about is unsecured debts, which is the credit cards. So your credit cards are unsecured debts. You can get a credit card. You don't have to put up any collateral for it. It's unsecured. If you guys were to get some of them department store cards, these are also unsecured. Your student loans, they are most likely unsecured. Also, any medical debt that you have, these are all unsecured debts. Child support, these are not child support liens. These are just child support. Child support is unsecured debts. Also, loans from your friends. Maybe you got a loan from your friend that's not secured unless you actually wrote or signed something saying that you're going to make it secure. Most likely it's unsecured. Also, your rent. So your rent is unsecured. And your utility bills. All of these are unsecured. So last episode, we talked about, whether it's secured or unsecure. Make sure you understand this. So go back and actually fill it in and tell whether it's secured and unsecured, because that's going to determine a lot about which ones you want to pay off first and which ones are priority. So I'll go ahead and see you guys in episode 57. See you guys there. Hey, welcome to episode 57 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about how you can quickly tally up your monthly expenses. So I have to do this before I even got into actually creating a budget and trying to figure out where I want to put my money at, where I'm not going to put it at. I have to start tracking myself because I told myself, you don't have extra money. And it turns out I did have extra money. What I was doing was I was just spending money willy-nilly. I just didn't care. I was just spending money, right? So I had to start tallying these things up. So I have a free copy of a budget tracker that you guys can get. It will be completely free. I suggest that you guys download it and actually print it. So once you print it, then you'll be able to actually fill it out. And you need to start tracking yourself, like literally start tracking yourself. So pick one day out of the week and start tracking yourself. Go back, look at your statements and put different things on there, whether or not it was a want and a need. So I'll suggest you print it out and actually highlight the ones that you fill out on your chart. And you can go back and check that week. Just do what you want to do. You're going to do regularly. Don't think too hard. Just whatever you've been doing. Don't think, I shouldn't do that unless you want to. But just live your life regularly and then go back once a week and actually look for that past week. What did I spend my money on? And you can just highlight, okay, I spent it on this, this, and that, and actually put into this tracker. Now, let me show you this tracker because I want you guys to record all of the payments that you're doing. And that's going to be in your account, whether you're using your credit card or also if you guys are using cash, record everything because you need to know where you're actually spending your money. So here is the tracker right here. You guys, again, can download this for free. So you have different things. You have your needs. Your needs is like your energy bill, your water bill, your mortgage. Those are different needs. Your car payment, you need to do those. It's not you went out to eat or anything like that. This is your needs, your grocery bill, gas, everything that you do. Please go ahead and make multiple copies, because I know I spent a lot of money, and it don't have to be a lot of money. You can be doing knick-knack things too. You may, instead of filling up your tank, you may go and get gas, $5 here, $10 there. My uncle Ben told me when I was younger, stop doing that. You messing up your car doing that. Fill your tank up every time. So I make sure I do that once a week now. I've been had that habit, but you want to list it. So make multiple copy of the needs tracker, and then also your wants tracker. So you went to Culver's, put that down, the day, the category, it was in food, the amount, and put any notes, like what made you go there? Like, was you driving past it? You went to Popeyes, put that down. You went to Walmart and you spent $50 because you wanted to get something from there. You went to Target, you went to Starbucks, whatever you wanted, and you got it, and it's nothing that will make you die if you don't get it. You wanted it, actually put it here so that you can start tracking exactly what you're doing. Now, next we're going to talk about actually your savings and debt repayment tracker, because we want to start making sure that we track these different things. So we're going to talk about this list here. Again, you're going to get all 6 of these things. It's going to be actual budgeting here too. You're going to get the monthly budget. You're going to get all of these different things for free on my website, so definitely check it out. I'm going to go over to the next video, because we're going to talk about actually looking at filling in our tracker that we talked about. Whether you're saving or whether you're paying off debt, you want to actually track that. Now, before we even get into that, let me say one more thing. You want to make sure you pick one day per month to actually go over these different things. But we're going to talk about this because I want you to fill this out, but we're going to go over this in episode 59, where we actually create the budget, because you need to know what you're spending your money on first so that you can actually move these different things over to your budget, because everything's not going to go. If you really want to successfully save money, all these things are not going to go. But before we actually go over to our budget, just hold this, do this, hold tight on this. I want you to actually start figuring out, are you spending any extra money on saving or paying off debt too? Because you need to start tracking that. So I'll see you over at episode 50.